Hi guys, we're back here again today with another video, and this time it's going to be a recipe. I'm going to be cooking up a lovely steak dinner for me and Jenny tonight, and I'm going to bring you along with me and how I will prepare this, how I will cook this, and I'll give you an overall of how it turned out. So let's get into this video. First off, the ingredients. This is what you need. So this is all the ingredients, pretty much what you need. There's a couple of things missed out, like salt, pepper, any other herbs you might need. But first off, we've got potatoes. Went to the little farmer's market thing today. I got some lovely, fresh, new potatoes. Really, really good. I also got some vegetables. So here we have some carrots, cauliflower and broccoli. And also I picked up some steak from Marsden. This is a flat iron steak. And a lot of people don't really tend to use this because it's a cheaper cut of steak and it's quite thin, but it is really, really good. And I'm going to show you how to get the most out of this steak because it is really a fantastic steak. So first off, what we're going to do is start with the potatoes, because the potatoes are going to take the longest to cook. New potatoes are actually really, really good potatoes. They're fantastic in flavour, they've got an awesome texture on them, and not a lot of people use them, and if you do use them, you tend to use a steamer. I've got a steamer up there, that little white thing, and it barely gets touched. I don't know what it is, I just think steamed vegetables, steamed potatoes, taste boring, and yes, it's lovely with a bit of fresh sea salt, but it's just boring. So what I'm going to be doing is roasting my potatoes. And you might be thinking, roasted new potatoes, a little bit weird, but trust me, it is really, really nice. First off, grab yourself a colander. Secondly, fill your colander with potatoes. Thirdly, rinse all the potatoes until all the little bits and pieces are basically off your potatoes. Right, I'm back. Potatoes have been washed, and I've basically washed any of the soil off, but I've left the skin on. The skin is such a good source of flavour, and it's also packed with other things like vitamins and whatever else, but don't discard the skin because the skin is actually amazing. One of my youngest memories of my gran was walking into our kitchen. You know, I was small at the time, and there she was, sat over the counter just scraping away the potatoes. You know, new potatoes have been in everybody's family, but they're just not used as much these days. One thing before you think about putting your chopping board down, get yourself a tea towel, fold it in half, stick it on the bench and put the chopping board over. It stops it moving, and yeah, it moves a little bit, but it really, really stops it moving from, you know, there's nothing worse when you're cutting and your chopping board's like finger off, not good. Next thing we need to do is chop up the potatoes to the right size. If they're small enough, keep them whole. If they're a little bit bigger, just cut them in half and they'll be perfect. Right, now all the potatoes have been chopped to a nice enough size, just a bit bigger than a bite size. You don't want them too small because they'll break down, and there's nothing worse than roasting potatoes and just being a load of mush at the bottom of the tray. So you want them to be a decent size. They're all roughly the same sort of size, been chopped in half. Been outside, I went and picked myself some rosemary, and I've got a little rosemary bush outside. It's been going for a while now and it's starting to, at the end of its life cycle, but I've got a little tip for your rosemary. So the rosemary, when it's just been picked out your garden, it smells amazing, the aromas are out of this world, but that actually can go a little bit further. So if you just boil your kettle, you get a little bit of hot water, you pour them over your rosemary, and straight away the smell and they start to come alive, they become brighter green, and the flavour is just tremendous. It is so much better by just adding a little bit of hot water on top of your rosemary. It did it the world of good. As far as everything else goes within cooking this meal, your vegetables, just stick them in a pan, a little bit of hot water, a nice bit of salt, and those will come out perfect. Just wait until they're nice and soft but still got a bit of a crunch. And the steak, leave it out for at least 30 minutes before you're going to cook it, because you want it to be room temperature. I like my steak medium rare, so it's slightly cold in the middle, and if you leave it out to room temperature, then everything will warm up so much quicker and it will cook evenly, result in a really nice steak. And As far as sauce goes, for this meal you can use gravy, you can use a peppercorn sauce, you can use a Diane, so it's entirely up to you. I'm not going to show you which sauce I'm going to make today. I'll show you in a separate video if you like. Leave it down below if you want to see how I make my peppercorn sauce. But that's what I'm going to be using today. But I'll make a separate video on how you make peppercorn sauce. The way I use it, it's a bit of a cheat, but it still tastes pretty darn amazing. So once you've got your potatoes out on a tray, all you want to do is season them with any seasoning of your choice, a little bit of oil. I'm using rosemary, salt, pepper, oil, and it's going to be fucking amazing. Got the oil, nice drizzle over the top. At this point I'm just going to give it a bit of a shake. Lovely. Get the rosemary, sprinkle the rosemary over the top, absolutely divine. Pepper. And last but not least, a bit of sea salt. Now here you can use rosemary, paprika, anything that really takes your fancy. The salt really helps to crispen all the potatoes up, adds amazing flavour. And now these should go in the oven for roughly about 45 minutes or so, preheated oven on 200 degrees, and I can't remember what gas mark that is, but a nice hot oven, and they'll be beautiful in about 45 minutes. Now the next thing to concentrate on is the steak. Here I have two really nice flat iron steak. There's some beautiful marbling on them and nice bits of fat, and I'm just doing it on the board where I've just prepped the rosemary, so there is a couple of bits of rosemary that are getting stuck in there. But as far as marinades go, it's going to be really simple. I'm going to keep this out on the countertop for anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, just so it gets nice room temperature and it's not cold when it hits the pan. And this steak, it's not a very well known steak, it's quite a cheap steak actually, and it's at least half the price of sirloin steaks, but it's still, the flavour is amazing if you cook it right, and that's pretty much the same with any steak. Right, so my hands are washed. Now I'm going to just go on to seasoning it. I'm going to have a little bit of oil all over the steak. Rather than oil in the pan, oil the steak, and we just want to rub this in. Beautiful, both sides nicely oiled, same as the other one, beautifully. And then I'm going to wash my hands once again. Now my hands are washed, just taking a little bit of cracked black pepper over the top, and we're going to do one side at a time. So got the black pepper on there. Another great thing is mustard powder, that's also got a lot of flavour. Now a bit of sea salt. One last thing I'm going to be using is a little bit of onion powder. It's actually got really beautiful flavour, and it just kisses the meat a little bit. It's just really nice. Now on this, just with one side, I'm just going to push this into the meat. You can use garlic powder, you can stick little bits of rosemary in there, but whatever you use, it is absolutely going to be beautiful. You see here I'm pushing the meat because I'm just trying to get the salt and the pepper and the onion to just penetrate into the meat, so when you put it in the frying pan it doesn't just fall off. Now it's time to wash my hands, turn the steak over, and then we'll be seasoning the other side exactly the same. As far as your vegetable goes, you just want to put them in a nice pan, bit of water, bit of salt, and cook them until they're soft enough for you. Some people like them al dente, some people like them a bit softer. Just cook them until they're right for you. About 10 minutes is a good guideline for the likes of carrots. But for your steak, you want to get a nice hot pan, and just, you've already oiled your steak, so don't worry about oiling your pan. You can use a nice non-stick pan if you like, but you just want to place it down away from you, so if any oil does hit the pan it doesn't spit back and hit you in the face. When you're cooking your steak, you want to put it on one side for about a minute and then turn it over to the other side and keep flipping until it's at the desired sort of cook for you. And if you leave it on one side for too long, all the juices rise to the top and then they leave a little puddle on top of the steak, and then in return that leaves your steak quite dry. So if you constantly flip, the juices come up, but by the time they've come up, you flip it again, so they have to rise again, and the steak ends up really nice, moist and juicy. So keep flipping your steak and it'll be perfect. A good rule of thumb to go by when you're cooking a steak is the hand method. So if you feel here now, this is a rare steak, and if you feel your steak and you want it rare, that's how it should feel. If you feel that way, it should be medium rare, medium well, and then well done. So just by feeling that part of your hand there, it allows you to gauge how tough the steak is. So just feel your hand, prod the steak, if it feels the same, and that is a rough estimate of how well cooked the steak is. This meal was absolutely beautiful. The steak was cooked perfectly, the potatoes were crispy, the veg was cooked to perfection, and we really thoroughly enjoyed this meal. Combined with the peppercorn sauce, it turned out to be a real treat. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please give me a like, comment, subscribe, some feedback, and I'll catch you another time with another video. Thank you for watching.